Hello and welcome everybody. This is your host Learbach, and you're just in time for an interesting episode of Blind Bagging It. In the last episode, we opened up a pack of Magic the Gathering. Excuse me, had a little burp. In the last episode, we unpacked a pack of Magic the Gathering Unstable. And in this episode, we're going to opening up a second pack. I want to go ahead and go on record here saying I have not played a Magic the Gathering game in probably 5 or 6 years. I used to play the game, and then I kind of just fell out of it. But one of the things I always loved, as a reminder for those of you who didn't see the last episode, I always loved their joke series, the Un series. There's Unglued, Unhinged, and now there's Unstable. And the reason I like them is because of these really weird gimmicks and really quirky artwork. It's always kind of fun. And so I'm going to start by getting the back of the deck. So we have our token creature is a 0/1 goat. And on the back we have a Mad Lib. Complete this statement. Now that the noun is complete, the world will verb at the noun of my master's plans. Nothing will stand against the noun of his noun. Inaccurate responses will be punished. Oh, that's funny. And then we have, in the last episode, we were introduced to contraptions, which are these weird little things with the backs look like this, and you have these things with the sprockets and counters and crank counters, and then they're all these weird things like Headbanger, which whenever you crank Headbanger, target creature must be blocked this turn if able. So a good thing about that is you could use this to, say you have a very beefy monster, you crank this card, and that creature has to be blocked. So you go to attack, they have to block that creature with a monster, maybe a monster they don't want to use. Or if you have a very beefy monster, you could crank this contraption onto a weaker monster, so that's the one that has to be blocked. So now the opponent has to block that creature, and then you get to attack with the bigger creature. Then we have for our other crank, BB gun. Whenever you crank BB gun, until the end of turn, target creature gains for 2 mana. This creature fight another target creature, which, if I'm reading that right, means it can attack. Yeah. So if you go to attack it, it can target one creature, and if it survives, it can target another creature, or it can target the player and then another creature. So that's actually pretty good. And then for our land, we got a mountain. Ooh, I mentioned this last episode how I like the unseries lands. Let me see if I can pull the one we got from last episode real quick. There we go. So they always look really good. One thing I didn't mention last episode is how all these joke cards are not legal in tournament play. So if you're making a deck, Unstable is not really something that you want to bring in. It's fine for casual as long as everyone else is okay with it. Most of my friends weren't. They were lame, and they were way too competitive, and they're the reason I got out of Magic in the first place. Whew. Yeah, one of them, not joking, spent his entire paycheck every week on Magic the Gathering cards. $300 on booster boxes. Not just the packs like these, like the big fat packs. I have like 20. I have like 11 of these packs and like 200 lands or whatever. It was insane. But one of the things that is legal to use in Magic the Gathering are the unhinged, unglued, unstable lands, because these are still considered basic lands. So if you have an unhinged or unglued or unstable mountain, you can put that in your deck, and there you go. You have the mountain. It's just a mountain card. That's the only difference is the artwork. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I like them, and they are also pretty cool looking. They're also like, you had a better chance. They look better than normal lands. You don't have any of my decks nearby, but the lands usually look something like the cards, minus the text. Instead of the text, you see like a land symbol for whatever color of mana they were, and for the picture, you'd see whatever the land was. They changed that in Zendikar, which I think was the first official, the first tournament legal deck series that actually had full bodied cards for the land. But not every land was like that. With Unstable, every land is full-bodied like this. So every land you pull out of a deck box is going to be one of these. Or out of a booster pack is going to be one of these full-body lands. So that brings us to our first card here, which is Hangman. As Hangman enters the battlefield, secretly note a word with 6 to 8 letters. I'm trying to read this through my screen, and it's so wow, that's super blurry now. Come on, focus. There we go. Okay. As Hangman enters the battlefield, secretly note a word with 6 to 8 letters. 1. Target player who doesn't control Hangman guesses the noted word or an unguessed letter in that word. If he or she guesses wrong, put a +1/+1 on Hangman. Any player may activate this ability. Oh! When a player guesses the noted word or all the letters, sacrifice Hangman. So it's a reverse of the game Hangman, where every wrong answer makes him stronger instead of gives you less. That's actually pretty good. And I love how it's noted as a human villain. And it's rare too. The gold wrench. That's a good sign. First pick. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Assemble a contraption. I mentioned last episode I do not know how the contraption things work. I'm trying to focus that so you can see what the name of the card is. Focus! Oh well. And then what does it say? Picking hammers is dangerous, but it's still safer than harvesting saw bushes. Okay, that's a. Man, I get the reference because the name of the card is first pick. So, but that's okay. Then we have whereI. Whenever whereI deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card from that player's library. This is actually very useful too, because this is a card with flying. As mentioned last episode, for those who don't play Magic, but are familiar with basic card games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, flying is an ability that lets you attack the player directly, and this card cannot be blocked by other creatures unless they have an ability like flying or reach, which lets them grab flying creatures. That pigeon knows something, and we will find out what. X. Signed X. I wonder who this mysterious X is. So we have another thing. The concept from this game I really like so far is the host creature, Labrobot, for example. Every host creature has the same side ability on here. It says when the creature enters the battlefield, and then their other ability over here comes into play. There's focus. Return target host card or card with augments from your graveyard to your hand. That's actually a pretty good ability if you're going to play with the host and augments. But hopefully, let me see if I can find an augment in this deck. Here we go. Yep, I did. Okay. Skipping ahead a little bit. But an augment, for those of you who don't know, who haven't seen the last episode or haven't played Unstable, augment is a really cool ability here. So you have this creature that you can't summon because it doesn't have a mana cost, but it has an augment cost up here. If you pay the augment cost, you attach this creature, part of the creature onto onto a target host creature, and then gotta pick the right card. I did it again. And then when this creature enters the battlefield, gets replaced with whatever the host creature's ability is. In this case, at the beginning of each end step, if you rolled the die this turn, return target host creature or card with augments from your graveyard to your hand. That could be a very useful ability, especially in a green-black deck. I say green-black because it's a green card. Because this creature here in particular is an artifact creature, you can put that into your deck however you wish. Another advantage is with the augmented abilities, they get a boost in their power. So you get the +4/+4 from the Hydra multi-headed card. So the multi-headed bot now is a 7/7, which is pretty darn good, if it can last that long. I imagine professional players will find ways to make that suck. But we have other things too that you can use for host creatures, such as the Shaggy Camel, which creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn when it enters the battlefield, or whenever an augmented ability kicks in. You have Timeout. Roll a 6-sided die, put target non-land permanent into its owner's library just beneath the top X cards in that library, where X is the result. So you can have it anywhere from underneath one card or underneath 6 cards. That's a pretty good, pretty neat little thing. We've already seen the Willing Test subject, so show that off again. And we have Novella Mental. Oh! Novel Elemental. I get it. That's clever. Oh, that took a while. I had to look at the creature type. A flying novel elemental can block only creatures with flying. Kind of a bit useless, but if you know you're going up against someone with a lot of flying cards, it could be useful. The 2/1 though is going to kill it pretty much instantly. It's one of those kind of this is used for blocking. The chain fit my neck perfectly, but my heart fluttered with chills as the cool metal came to rest against my chest. I closed the clasp and waited, silent. I don't know what that quote has to do with it. I guess it's a quote from the novel Elemental. Got another host creature, Brambling Pangolian. You may destroy target artifact when this creature comes into play, or its elemental or its augmented ability comes into play. We have Steady-Handed Mook with Death Touch. For those of you who don't play the game, again, Death Touch is whenever this creature deals damage to another creature, that creature is killed. Is put in the graveyard. It doesn't matter if this creature has enough power to kill it or not. It goes into the graveyard. Let me bring up an example here, actually. So say these two go up against each other. I attack. So-and-so defends. A 2-1 will beat a 1-1. However, because of Death Touch, the Pagalian is sent to the graveyard as well. When Steady-Handed Mook enters the battlefield, it assembles a contraption. The Mook's lifespan is just long enough to get just good enough to get careless. Oh, that seems about right. It is what all us Mooks are good for. Then we have Quasimodo as the Hammer Helper. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature and roll a 6-sided dice. Until end of turn, it gains haste and gets plus X plus 0. Where X is the result. So that's actually really good. This you could technically play on your own creatures, because it does say gain control of target creature. And I mean, even if you already gain control of it, that kind of cancels out that effect. But this also lets you gain control of an opponent's creature. Similar to a blue ability called Mind Control, which I believe might cost the same. This is really good if you're running a red deck, because then you can just flat out steal anyone's creatures. Say you get someone that has like a very powerful creature, like say Emrakul, or actually Emrakul would be a bad example because the sorcerer can only play on your turn. Progenitus, a 10/10 behemoth of a creature, and my first ever mythic rare. Also came out from the first ever pack I ever opened. And yet I lost. It's also one of the first cards I ever lost. No, like I had it in a deck that was like specifically built to pull them out, and I lost the deck. So somewhere in North Carolina, theoretically, there is a white deck box with a dragon on it, and inside that deck box is a deck that has Progenitus in it. Somewhere in North Carolina, that deck box is still in there, theoretically unopened. But anyway, this could be really useful too, because it can boost up that creature's attack. But of course, afterwards you have to give it back, so it's kind of a temporary assistance. Need a hammer? Gotta get your fix? I know a guy. Love that. So that is the second pack we opened, and I gotta say, this is a pretty cool little gimmick. They have some pretty cool little gimmicks for this. Like I said, I really like the host creature and the augment abilities. These kind of remind me of I think it's the arcane abilities in the what was it? It was the Japanese spirit set. Revenge, like Battle of the Kamis or something like that. They had like these where they introduced spirit cards and arcane sorcery cards. You know, with a lot of the arcane cards, if you played a spirit, you could pay the cost for the arcane card, show it to the player, and then cast it from your hand, and then return it back to your hand. Cast it as if you had played it. That's only whenever you played a spirit card. So it's kind of the same as this in the host creature, the augments in the host creature. And they've done a few little things like that too over the years. So that's actually kind of a neat little idea. And I'd like to see that actually, like this actually come into play in the actual game, where you have this creature and you can make him stronger by giving him other creature abilities. And you have cards that are just basically, these are just boosts for creatures. Would just change up how they play the game. And it's nothing I think could be. I mean, obviously, with the right kind of cards, anything could be game breaking. You look at, I think it was Black Lotus is one of the most infamous cards in Magic history, just because it was just a 3-mana card for 0 cost. But yeah, so with all that said, our next video will be starting to dig into the 100 card deck that I bought for $10 actually. So that's not a bad deal when you think about $50 or 50 cents per card. And there's at least one guaranteed rare. I think there's more than one from what I looked through. And yeah, not a bad deal. But that will be for the next episode. Until then, I'll see you guys later.